Um, but here what he is saying is, so firstly, credit is very important for capitalism, for short-term, but it becomes even more important for long-term capital investments. Okay. Now, as the scale of production increases, capitalism expands. Investments are tied for a long time, and this increases the demand for. This increases the demand for credit or savings, money, credit. And as the capitalism moves towards, as capitalism develops, this becomes this demand increases. So the bank basically become more and more central to the capitalist system. And bank credit is, and Harvey is talking about bank credit. Bank credit is different from commercial credit. And the source of credit in capitalism is savings. Okay, and savings come from two: corporations own saving, but other are household saving. So if the bank gather household savings, from all over the country and make these savings available for credit. So these are the banks who convert household saving into credit, and then those credit, the companies borrow that money and they invest and they create value. And we're talking about capitalist value, which is accumulation. So if this saving, household saving, before bank assumed this role, these household savings were non-capitalist saving. They weren't part of the capitalist production and accumulation cycle. But when banks, based on those savings, banks give out money as a credit, and that credit is invested in capital accumulation. Those household savings, which were non-capitalist savings and were not creating any capitalist value, are turned into capitalist credit, which creates capitalist value. Now, just imagine that those household savings. So the household savings, when they weren't being, collected by banks and issued as credit, it wasn't just that they weren't creating capitalist value. It's also that they were creating anti-value, in the sense that the money, which could have been invested and used to create capital value, is not being used for that purpose. So it's not just that the actual value is not being created, but also that anti-value is being created. That is, the opportunity to create capitalist value is being wasted. I think that's what he means by anti-value. We'll go back to the text, but that's what I think he means by anti-value. So, for example, in a country like Pakistan, which is only a semi-capitalist country as far as its economy is concerned, large population of Pakistans don't have investment accounts. They don't have any accounts in banks, so their money is out of the circulation of capital, investment, and creation of value. So that money is not just not creating value in capitalist sense, but it's also creating anti-value. That is, it is wasting the opportunity to create value. And that's why the whole Islamic banking movement, it's an imperialist project started by Nasser, and then basically during Faisal's regime, Saudi Arabia became its champion. The purpose of Islamic banking movement is to persuade Muslim masses to put their money in banks, so it can be converted into capitalist money and capitalist value. And its anti-value function is reduced or removed altogether. So that's an example from a country which is not capitalist yet. But the same process can happen within mature capitalism as well. How does this process or similar type of process happens within mature capital, or can happen within mature capital? Can happen, for example, if the products are not being sold, for example, at the rate anticipated, for whatever reason, people don't have enough money, or people are not spending money, they are saving money for some other things. What it does is it reduces the production cycle. It reduces the production cycle because production cycles and its rate is dependent on the rate of the rate at which product is sold and their demand and all those things. That means that the demand for credit is decreased. And when the demand for credit is decreased, then what happens is savings pile up in bank. So that's oil money is sitting there. So it's also accumulating. So accumulation of money increases, or money in the form of accumulation in the form of money holding increases. But the demand for credit decreases. Demand for this money decreases. It means that this money is not being invested. It means that although this money is accumulating here, but it could accumulate at a higher rate if it is invested in some profitable venture. So that means that although value is being created here too, in the sense that savings are going up and up, so money is accumulating, but this value creation is also anti-value in the sense that we are not creating value in quantity or at a rate in which it could have been created if this money, this oil money, was invested in something profitable. So in this explains his conception of value. That's how I have understood it so far. So value is the actual production of accumulation, actual accumulation, and anti-value is not just non-creation of capitalist value, but also non-creation of capitalist value at quantity and intensity in which it could have been created, this value, if the investment was optimal, for example. So anti-value is created in two ways for not creating capitalist value, and second, not creating it at the rate it has potential to be created given the resources. So this is his concept of value, and this reminds me of Marx's argument, or Marxist argument against capitalism. Marx was all for accumulation for the sake of accumulation, because that would help humanity to overcome scarcity and achieve abundance. But Marx argued that existing capitalism is a system of waste. System of waste in the sense that system of waste, not in the sense that it doesn't create capitalist value. It does, and that's why it's a revolutionary and innovative and progressive system. But it's a system of waste because it doesn't produce value at a rate and quantity at which it could be created given our resources, given technology, given all that. So Marx argued that if we can establish the government of the laborers, the government of the labor, or dictatorship of proletariat, uh, we would be able to overcome this anti-value inherent in traditional capitalism or liberal capitalism, etc. So it seems to me that Harvey has given a name to that concept. Okay, let's go back and see.